Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Sunday. I want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as seasoned. I got a word for you. Tap in. Happy Sunday morning, guys. So, did I say Saturday or Sunday? It's Sunday. So, guys, I want to speak to you guys about a couple of different things. I want to start with which is on YouTube or which is on social media. I want to also speak to you guys about God is sending you help. God is sending you a partner that can look like a number of different directions, but He's sending you a partner. You've reached the pinnacle of how high you can go on your own. And also, lastly, I want to speak about sis, stop tripping. Stop tripping. You are everything. The counterfeit is nothing. Their time is up. Point blank, period. All right, so let's start really quickly with witches on our warlocks, which is male witches on social media. I mean, they're everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. But I'm not one to even, because as I stated in the recording a couple of days ago, I'm not going to be on nobody's comment section trying to debate them or say this or say, no, you got to just trust that God will convict, God will remove, etc., unless you hear from God directly to expose, etc. So, in particular, there's a mature lady, Caucasian lady, beautiful lady who I don't even know how I started to run across her videos. They just kind of came up, algorithm, I'm sure, but when I clicked on it, because the title was very intriguing, so when I clicked on it, I can't lie. Her word, like seriously, her messages are so on point, right? Never revelation for me because I hear directly from God myself. So typically things are just confirmation or just like she's on point. She's on point. She's on point. But if I'm honest, the very first time that I looked in her eyes when I clicked on that video, my spirit was grieved. See, when your spirit, not your flesh, not your triggers, when your spirit is grieved about a person, you gotta take heed to that. There's something that the Holy Spirit is warning you that this person is this or this person is that, right? They're just not operating in the right realm. So as I listened on, I started to click through her messages, ignoring the grievance of of the Holy Spirit. But I was very intrigued because I was like, this chick is on it. Like, seriously. So then I felt a conviction maybe a day later or so to delete, because I had subscribed to her, to delete it. And I did unsubscribe. I unsubscribed. And then all of a sudden, the videos will come up more frequently that I had unsubscribed than they did when I subscribed. And I was like, well, I guess I'll just click on it again because this title right here is like truth, right? So I clicked on it. Again, messages, I mean, I'm talking about full on in alignment with many of the things that many of us are hearing in the spiritual realm. Convicted again. Then yesterday, something popped up again. I clicked it again. Boom. Major conviction. Whole witch pop up in my face. Literally. A whole demonic witch pop up in my face. I heard God say clear as day. Your spirit was grieved the first time for a reason. And you know, Kizzy, right? Your discernment game is like my discernment game is so on fleek, has always been. Even when I couldn't articulate that it was discernment, I just knew my spirit would either agree or disagree with the person instantly. It don't take me no 5-10 minutes. The minute I look at you, when I feel through your spirit, I can tell if you're a witch, if you're a warlock. I can tell. I don't care how beautiful you are. I don't care how handsome you are. Your spirit will always grieve you and alert you when something is not right. When you feel that something is off, again, not no little pettiness or jealousy, none of that. Your spirit, if your spirit is grieved, the Holy Spirit is telling you something. And then you know me, right? I wanted to go and say, ma'am, you are a whole witch. You are a whole witch, right? I wanted to tell her that. But of course, again, right? I don't want nobody coming up in my comment section. So I'm going to respect And then I was like, God, okay, I don't feel like you gave me this information just to sit on. So could you please tell me how to like release it? And that's when I released it last night on the community page. Meaning your spirit will be alert. Not me telling you who this person is, blase, right? Now, if God ever says, tell it, oh, I'm going to tell it. I'll go on her page and say it, period. If God tells me to, right? But the Holy Spirit said, no, whoever it's for, it will grieve their spirit. And that's what I was saying in the video a couple of days ago. It's really not our job to go and just hammer people, right? The Holy Spirit will do his part unless you hear directly from him. And so, of course, I posted something on the community page and one of you guys got it before I even so whatever. She will be exposed. They will be exposed. In the video I made several weeks ago, God had been clear. God said it clear as day. This is the season of exposure. And it's starting from the top on down. I've already seen some major falls in that music entertainment, right? Let it be Hollywood, let it be this, all that crooked stuff that they've been doing forever. God is shaking up the camp. And this is the season of exposure in different ways. Again, it could be industry, right? It could be social media. You already see people losing their channels. And this is the season of exposure, point blank, period. Many people will fall, and then many people are going to be shifted in. The right people with the right spirits will be shifted in. But everything evil is fallen, point blank, period. You have to be careful. You have to be very, very careful on social media, especially if you struggle with discernment, right? Always pray and ask God for discernment, right? Here's the crazy thing. The same lady, in all of her messages, she says, test the spirit, test every spirit, even mine. Oh, it's no need. You're a witch, period. But then I'm thinking about the people who's really not tapped in like that, or who's really, right? And you're just gleaning on these messages. And granted, again, understand, witches and warlock knows the Bible, understand, oh, they're in the spiritual realm as well. They're just tapping into the wrong source. But sometimes they're spot on, but it's demonic. You got to be very, very careful when you find yourself, you got to get a word from a person. This is the only person who can give you a word. And then they're sitting there telling you about tithe into this, not tithe, plant a seed into this. But you gotta be so tapped in spiritually where you start to recognize, because see, anything that's from God is pure. Nothing will grieve your spirit. It's pure. It's like you've known it forever. You've known them forever. Your spirit is settled. When you're feeling grieved, that's an issue. But it's all over social media. That's the crazy part. It's all over social media. So here's the thing. Don't be so desperate that, because some of them seasons can really, really have you desperate. Seriously, you can be so low that all you want is a word that's going to just something, right? But use this as a moment to start asking God to hear directly from God yourself. You can hear from God yourself. You can hear from God yourself. What's next? Oh, God is sending your partners. This can look like a number of different things. Of course, this can look like spouses, partners, friends, destiny helpers, kingdom financiers, things like that. But where you are now, right? You've reached the pinnacle of how far you're going to go. Great job well done. Oh, you're everything, right? You've reached the pinnacle of how far you're going to go. This is why many of you will realize that a lot of things are drying up. Things that we had our hands in, maybe we were seeing success in those areas, or we were seeing fruit in those areas, and now there's just, things are just drying up. Right? God don't want you to freak out and panic like, why are things drying up? Oh my goodness, what am I going to do in the next 3 years? Right? He's drying things. God typically dries things up first prior to you seeing the new thing coming in. You just got to know what he's doing. You got to trust what he's doing, because what happened is triggers, right? Trauma triggers, like somebody's taking something from you. Somebody's taking, right? You'll want to hold on to the very thing that he's trying to dry up. And if you're going to hold on to it, then he can't usher in what's coming. So you got to trust the process versus desperately trying to cling on to something that he's trying to remove. That season is up. Now, he may bring it back, but he may take it and use it. It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. That's why you still have some leftovers there. It's the same thing, but he's going to take it and use it in a different direction, or he may take it completely. But he's going to bring you way, 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 way more that you'll be able to bless other people with your leftovers that you still have. God is taking us higher, like higher. This is why many of you your desires are changing now, and you're more open now to partnership. You're more open now to marriages. You're now more open to such and such. This is why you don't even have a desire to be around toxic people anymore, right? You've been pruned from it, and it may have hurt it at the time because you didn't know what God was doing, but now God have pruned these toxic people in toxic ways, and now you're at peace, right? You're at peace. He's ushering new things in and new people. And these new people are on a different level. So they're not all toxic and stressful and just, Be open to new help. Be open to understanding they may not always look like you. Be open to understanding that if it's something that's new, and it will be, and it's something that it may trigger you because it feels like overwhelming and you may not feel stable in it. You don't really feel like you know how to do it or whatever. The people that God is bringing to help you, and vice versa, you want to help them too, but you're going to have to be submitted enough to lean on them in that area, because you have strengths, you have weaknesses, and vice versa. But be open to it and not so combative about every single thing when somebody is really trying to. Because see, God will use people. God uses people to open doors. And here's the beautiful part. Because it's ordained, so it naturally happens. It's not like you're going to beat down doors. This is why when we go beating down doors, all we do is spin our wheels and nothing really happens. Now, sometimes it does. It just depends on if that's a God-ordained thing or a us thing, goal-oriented, which is great too, right? But I'm speaking about a season where it's God-ordained blessings. God will literally send them to help you. They will open doors for you. This is how many of you guys are here. I said this in a recording, I don't know, a year or two ago. I was so frustrated because God had me making YouTube videos maybe 5 years ago. And I promise you, I don't know what it was, about 15. But my channel was literally stuck. It was stuck at 15 people. I mean, it wouldn't go to 14 because somebody unsubscribed. It wouldn't go to 16 because it was stuck at 15 people for a whole year. And I was in my feelings because, 15 is great, but I just felt like, God, if I'm going to be getting up every morning, who am I reaching? And he's like, what do you mean? If you reach one, you're great, right? And in obedience, I just kept on. And then there was this one lady who commented, out the blue, because nobody would ever even comment or message me. And she emailed me and she said, I just want to tell you I struggled with depression. I was contemplating really hurting myself, etc., etc. And one of your videos popped up, and I just kept watching your videos, and it just really saved me. And I was like, oh, Lord, please forgive me. I will make 50 per day if that's what you want me to do. And then, just in my obedience to my 15, then as time went on, of course, it grew more and more. And then, boom, out of the blue, Pastor R.C. Blakes Jr. happened to see one of my recordings. I was asleep, woke up to all these non-stop notifications, right? Thousands of people, just all at once. So you see my point here? For one, many times are going to be complete strangers who God sends to open the door for you. I didn't go looking for him. It was in alignment. He saw my video. Now, mind you, I think this is one of the most wisest men ever. And you think I'm wise? Me? You think I'm wise? Honey, child, I was in Disneyland for about a week. I didn't go searching for him. It was, one, my obedience that I kept being obedient to the 15, even though I was frustrated, but I kept following my convictions to be obedient. Next, it was God's ordained timing. It was a person who was ordained for God to see, that God will have see something in me. He shared it, several, without me even asking ever. And thousands of people are here. So you see, God will use a person. God have to use people. There's people who are literally ordained to open doors for you. There are people ordained for your life who's going to see something in you without you trying to beat them down to make, because the truth of the matter is, if you're running behind them and in truth, like, you may feel something in your spirit towards that person, but you running and trying to beat them down, they're going to be alarmed. That happened to me in a good sense. I don't know, she still may listen to me, but I think she already unsubscribed. It's alarming. It's alarming. Chill. Everything happens in God ordained timing, right? So yeah, God is going to send you a partners. You're going higher, period. Lastly, sis, chill out. You are everything. You are absolutely everything. Listen, I had an email yesterday in regards to this topic from a good sis who was really, she struggled with self-esteem and confidence all of her life, really traumatic childhood, also bullied, things like that, which damages, of course, how you see yourself. So she knows that God has shown her her God-ordained kingdom partner, kingdom spouse, but there's a counterfeit in the land, which typically counterfeits are in your territory. Let it be a relationship, let it be a promise of a ministry, a promise of a this, a promise of a that. Typically there's already somebody in your land, right? This is why it's a fight, but a fight doesn't mean you go swinging, right? There's different ways God will have you to fight. That can look like standing. That can look like warring in the spirit. That can look like faith. That can look like whatever God gives you. Then you have to be obedient to that. But she was saying that the counterfeit is pretty and she's this and she's that, but she knows this person is like soulless and not good. And she's like, she's not hating in that sense, but the person is really not a good person, like seriously. And she can't understand why her potential kingdom spouse keeps going back to this person when they get into their stuff or whatever. Here's the thing. The season is up. The season is up for all counterfeit things, not just people, right? People, places, whatever. Counterfeits, your time is up, point blank, period. This is a spiritual shift that's going on. Everything counterfeit, everything evil. God is shaking up the camp. He's shaking up the territories. And these are things that you probably don't even know about that's going on. There's ruckus in the land. There's people turning against each other in the land. This is what faith is all about. Faith is about knowing that God is doing what God needs to do. And he's telling you to go over here and sit down somewhere because you ain't that cute, boo. You're cute, but you ain't that cute, boo. You ain't me. I'll come back and get you if I need you to X, Y, and Z. But in the meantime, I'm shaking up the camp. And it's not cute. Because when God shake up a territory down, let me just tell you, it's not like he just shaking and everybody falls like an earthquake and run out the door. No. There's strife. There's demonic forces against each other. You got witches and warlocks playing with all kind of voodoo and all kind of foolishness to try to remain in the place. No. When the season is up, your voodoo can't work. When the season is up, your spells can't work. I mean, they don't work like in general. And they can, it can cause some stuff, but it will never stick. It will be temporary. And then it's going to turn back on you and pop you upside the head. And then you're trying to wonder, why is your life so crazy? Why is all these demonic things happening to you and the people in your lives? And you can't understand what's going on. Oh, that stuff already turned back around. Play with it if you want. If it ain't from God, I don't want it. Why would you even be so desperate to try to, if it's not from God, why would you want it? Why would you try to force anything? But your time is up. Sis, here's the thing. When it comes down to God ordained things, it is so more than look. First of all, I'm sure you're gorgeous. I'm sure you're beautiful. But remember, Satan will attack you in the area that he knows God is going to use you. So for many people, this is why many people have such low self-esteem and confidence, because the enemy used things and people to target them very early on in life. And so as adults, you're really still shooken and you could be the most beautiful woman or the most handsome guy, but you're still shooken in that area of confidence and self-esteem because God already knew, that he will be using you a certain way for purpose and calling, and it will require you to have to be confident. But the enemy sent a whole narc to you, right? Sent a whole whatever to you to really just destroy how you see yourself. But anything that's in the spiritual realm, it connects spiritually. So you got to get past the physical. Whoever is for you, they will be drawn to your spirit. So it's not about who looks better, she looks better, this person looks better, this person has more money. It's about being in God's ordained timing, which this really is a timing for a lot of people to meet their ordained partnerships and peoples, right? The spirits will connect. The person won't even see you in that light anyway, right? They can acknowledge that you're beautiful. They can acknowledge that you're sexy, right? They can acknowledge that you're thick, girl. They can acknowledge that you're handsome, you're this. They see it. But it's deep, it's so deeper. They're drawn to your spirit. Your spirit is what's going to lock them in and keep them, not the physical. That's the enemy trying to play in your head and showing you that this girl is more pretty. She can be pretty, but got a rotten soul. That will only last temporary. Yes, most men are visual, but how long would it even keep a man entertained after counterfeits are being moved? And that's not all men. Some men, are disciplined. They're disciplined enough to see past all that, I guess, glitz and glamour, that phony stuff. No matter how beautiful you are, they can still test your spirit, and they have no problem walking away because they got too much to lose, and for two, they're different. Every man is not the same. But you're everything, sis. Don't ever compare yourself to a woman. No woman can't touch you. I can't even touch you. You are one of a kind, and every single thing that is made for you, everything that's ordained for your life, person, places, or things, they will be attracted to your spirit. Is something in your spirit that will ignite the person who God will use to help you or gravitate towards you, not your looks. Ask God. I say this a lot, and it changed my life years ago, and this is why I keep saying it. Literally ask God, literally, to help you see yourself the way He sees you. It will change your life. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.